Hey. I'm not frozen now, so welcome to the Swole Initiative Network. This is the premiere episode of Fables of Gahlia. Super excited to kick this one off. But first, we're going to go to some announcements, starting with Stirks. Kick us off, man.
Nice. Hello, I'm back. Our first sponsor for the night comes straight from the halls of Valhalla in the form of Norse Foundry. Norse Foundry is responsible for making artisan dice and gaming accessories crafted from the finest metals and gemstones by dwarves themselves. With Norse Foundry, even your natural ones will be beautiful. Check them out at norsefoundry.com and be sure to use our code SWOLE, SWOLE, to save 10% today. Do it. Do it now.
Awesome. Who we got next?
Me. And I'm going to be talking about Nine Realms Gaming. Aren't they beautiful? Check out our friends over at Nine Realms Gaming. They hand make all of their products from natural woods to create quality and affordable gaming accessories for all. You can use the code SWOLE10 to get 10% off of your purchase over at ninerealmsgaming.com. And don't forget to check out that beautiful DM screen in front of Jay that was perfectly made by Nine Realms, and it's got Jay's face on it, as well as our logo for this show tonight. Beautiful stuff, and some runes, cool stuff. They do all kinds of custom work over there, so take a chance to click on the link and take a look, and you get 10% off your purchase.
Yup.
All right, and our third and final sponsor of the evening are our wonderful friends over at Griffin Co. We would like to give them a huge shout out and thank you, because all of the monsters and minis and terrain that you see on this show tonight and in the future were provided by Griffin Co., painted by Jay. And if you would like to get in on this action as well, please go to their website at griffinco.com and use promo code SWOLE22 at checkout for a big old 22% off of your purchase.
Yes. Awesome. That was my painting claw, if you didn't know. Yeah, so obviously we're a brand new channel, so all subs, gifted subs, prime subs, make Bezos pay for it. Super appreciated. If you can, if you are not in a position to do so, then just hanging out and talking shit in the chat at the players is the way to go. We also have a Discord. Do we have a link for the Discord? So we have a little community. So feel free to jump in, and then you can stay up to date with everyone, chat with the players and the DMs and some other pretty cool people. So yeah, I guess that is everything? Question mark? I think so. So I guess without further ado, let's jump into tonight's episode of the Fables of Gahlia. Hello, my name is Jay Foster from the Swole Initiative Network, a brand new Twitch channel dedicated to a group of friends sharing their love of tabletop role-playing games. So follow along where you can see a whole lot of this.
The poopy out of Lily, she was frozen.
I did not poop.
A smidging of this.
No one likes to be hard all the time.
I've heard that if it persists after 4 hours, you should consult a physician.
Or a sorcerer, yeah.
Whichever you find first.
But it's
And a whole lot of this.
I'm delving deeper. Wisdom saving.
Catch us at twitch.tv/Swole Initiative Network. Hello.
We're live.
Hello. We're live. Okay. You just said coming back, and then there was a pause.
That means we're going back.
Okay, so it's
We're
like
live.
now. Got it.
Pick up the cues, Jay. Pick up the cues.
Awesome. Okay, so last time on the Fables of Gahlia, you guys had just exited the Jalin High Council tower, and wanting to regroup, picking up Lost on the way out, wanting to regroup, you you opted for a meal and went to visit Enrique in his enchanting eatery of eccentricities and extravagant extras. There was fuckery. to kind of summarize what happened, there was fuckery. You guys found out that the special menu includes enchanted foods which enable you to do certain things, which some of you found out work right there and then. Giving up that you were originally from coming from the Shade Run, he did ask you to leave pretty quickly. And then upon exiting, you found some Shade Guard who were heading down to the Shade Run. Upon doing so, the Spooky Sisters spooked them out pretty much by trying to garner information in the bluntest of ways. And you decided to trail them to see where they were going. So you followed them down through the teleportation circle back to the Shade Run and through the town through some very dicey stealth checks. Saw where they were going through what looks like a slum kind of hovel home. Going through that door, you found that it was kind of a facade that led to a long staircase. Going down there, you found the expanse that was this giant mine with glowing crystals around that were being mined with a lot of Shade Guard. Deciding that you had seen what you needed to in order to go and tell Coram about it. Heading back up the stairs, you were met with a voice that said, well, 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 what do we have here then? And that's where we're picking up.
How far away is he?
Yeah.
He is at the top of the stairs. You can you could just about make out, because there's light at the top and dim light down the stairs. So you just kind of have this silhouette.
Did we have a marching order?
Yeah, I was about to say, did we know?
I think I was right in the front.
Like going up the stairs?
You were in the front at the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you'd be in the back.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Oh no.
Unless there was a bit of room, so you could have gone in different order of the stairs. Do you want to just give a marching order?
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
This is the bit where you tell me what the marching order
Yeah.
is. So first would be...
Lost the Roth.
Okay.
I'd be behind my sister.
Yeah, and I'd be close to the back.
And I'd probably be behind them.
I'll be very last.
Everyone's just like,
going behind.
Who is second?
Okay, I'm going to be guarding the rear.
I'm not filling
That's
you in
pretty
from the back.
important. I'm going to guard the rear. That's a pretty important thing.
Okay.
I'll be
Agreed.
behind Lost, apparently, because that's where I fall.
And then I
thought you
guess
were-
it's
I
me.
thought you were going to say behind Kaya, and I was about to lose my shit.
So I guess it's
So
me
it's Ross,
after
Lost, Roz.
Rose, Lily, Adeline, Kaya.
Got it. So we have our marching order. You've heard the voice from the top of the stairs. Lost, you are at the front looking up. If anyone, probably Raz and Rose, if you wanted to kind of peek around shoulders and look up, you could
Definitely.
probably see the same thing.
Do we recognize this silhouette or this voice?
You do not.
Do they look like they're wearing anything in particular that would make them larger or smaller depending on clothing of their shadow?
So being at the top of the stairs kind of obstruct some of, like, forced perspective. It kind of obstructs some of the silhouette. You can kind of see from the bottom of his torso up, but you just have this silhouette because there's bright light behind him and then dim light in the stairwell. So the light differential, it's just...
Oh, okay.
Lost just looks up, and he looks up and he kind of squints because he can't make out the figure, and he says, and I say, whoever you are going to be making the most important decision of your life in the next minute. Whether you're going to have a good day or a bad day. And at that point, he lets his chain drop and hit the ground.
When I hear that, we're just a little bit turned around trying to get out of this hallway stairwell.
Just lost.
Yeah.
And I'll look at Lost.
I see. Well, the thing about that is, I don't quite believe you.
Oh.
You see, I happen to know that there are little messenger birds around. Isn't that right, Miss Beaumont?
I'm sorry, I don't think I've made your acquaintance. Who are you?
Commander Rask.
Oh. Yes, I've heard an awful lot about you.
Have you?
Yes. You see, it was your audience that we were seeking when we came here in the first place.
Make a deception check. With disadvantage for this.
Still 17.
17.
Was?
No, that was with the plus.
I was trying.
It was wishful thinking.
He says, well, that's funny, because I don't come down here.
Well, we must have been misinformed. You see, you have two guards who, well, they took quite a liking to my friend Rose over here, and they, asked us to accompany them down there somewhere around here. Anyhow, yes, I'd heard an awful lot about you and was hoping to make your acquaintance, though I'd imagined it in a much nicer environment than this. God, it is dark, isn't it?
It is dark down here. You are right.
Yes.
Well, why don't we head on out, upstairs, coming out into the light? It's a little cramped in here.
There's no need for you to come up here.
But, I mean, we're coming up anyway. I mean, we were headed that direction.
You might have been.
And we still are. Let's go.
Well,
I lean back to Adeline, and I say, Miss, do you feel endangered at all? Do you feel your life is threatened?
I mean,
There's
this
two
isn't
people in between you.
ideal, but I still think maybe we can get out of this unscathed. She's saying like under her breath.
Well, I'm still playing the bodyguard. So,
Right.
yeah. So I kind of edge over and step in front of Adeline.
Oh, okay. So it's just me and Roz at the front now. Great.
Well, I mean, we're all bodyguards, right? So
Let's
We are.
I'd say there's 4 people between him and Adeline, so I'm
Yeah,
not sure how
That's
much
going to
more
be a
people-
movie theater. Excuse me.
How much
Excuse me.
more
Sorry.
people
Excuse
get.
me.
Yeah, I'll just try to make myself wide enough to kind of block off everybody and make sure everybody's covered.
You make yourself look big.
Makes myself look big, like the God's actually crazy. Put a
Okay. Noted.
Oh, I get it. You're coming down here, so you're just meeting us halfway. Is that it?
Well, I just thought that we could all go down.
Back down
Or-
there.
There's nothing down here for us to see. We got down here and decided it was time to leave.
Oh,
So-
see, no, there's plenty for you.
No, we're not going back down. Let's go.
Do I see that anyone's with him? Is he by himself?
Make a perception check. There's going to be a high DC for this, just because of what you're trying to look up.
Perception.
Yep.
22.
Woo. Okay. From your angle, you can see from where you are, there's 2 other faces behind him. They are not pressed up, like right behind him.
So they're like other guardsmen.
They are the Shade Guard. And what you do, well, no, because it's still the silhouette lighting. So that's all you would see from there.
I would use a cantrip to cast light on my shield so that I could see better. So we could all see better.
Okay. So Raz and Lost, you'd have to move out of the way because of the nature of the stairway, right? Because it's not just going to emanate out. It has to go in a direction here.
I'll like scooch to the side.
Yeah.
So if you guys press yourself up against the sides of the stairway, yeah, it goes up and it illuminates Rask initially. So he is, you can't really tell his height from here, given the perspective, but he is a fairly broad and imposing individual. He's wearing this double-breasted coat that is close to what you saw the magistrates wearing up in the upper echelon, but his is adorned with like gold detailing and things, so of an elevated status. Well, I'll just tell you what he's wearing overall because you'll see it eventually, and I don't want to have to re-describe his lower half. But the jacket kind of cascades down and is split on both sides, kind of in like a tabard style, with these like white, wide-legged pants underneath. And he is a completely clean-shaven, bald-headed individual.
Human.
Seems that way. And then over his shoulder, you can now see that there are 2 archers trained over his shoulder.
Are they holding weapons towards
Yes,
us?
they're trained. They're,
Right. Okay. Okay.
they're not just well trained.
Got it.
You seem to have me at a bit of a disadvantage, as I mean, I've heard of you through various means, but I'm curious how you've come to hear of me. I'm just a simple courier.
Well, This is what happens when you start messing around in stations above your own.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
Come now. You think you can just waltz in to the assistant mage, Grigor, and no one takes any note. And then, all of a sudden, I find you down here. Strange. But I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation.
Of course there is. Of course, yes. I was looking for you, as I've said.
Great. Well, you found me.
Seems that way.
And so I am heading downstairs. So you should join me.
What's the problem? Why can't we just go ahead and leave, or at least talk to you upstairs? It's dark down here.
Because I would prefer you to be downstairs.
But that's not what we prefer.
Are we prisoners?
Potentially. That
Well,
depends how this conversation goes.
I think this conversation is better had upstairs.
It would seem that it would be a much level playing ground if we were upstairs and not in this dungeon-esque place.
You seem to be under some impression that your opinion has any weight.
Yes, I think we're happy to comply with whatever you will have us do, so that we may have this conversation and realize that all of this is just such a misunderstanding. That's all. You'll see.
All right. If Adeline says that we can go downstairs, then I'll turn around and kind of lead the way back.
And well and truly, it does seem that you take issue with me. Why involve the rest of my personal guard in the matter? Surely they can go.
But we wouldn't.
They may be of use as well. We
Of
shall
use.
see.
Use. Okay.
Our rates per hour are pretty high.
Well,
I don't think you can afford us.
True. Priced very competitively.
we'll see. So the rest of you turning around.
I mean, on the stairs, I don't know if I can do much else, but kind of go with the flow.
Adeline's gonna start stepping down and very kind of like, with dignity, and just start going wherever they're ushering, just, going along with it.
I'll start backing up, but I just want to back up so that I can keep a view to see how many guys are coming down the stairs.
Okay. So you're gonna keep your eyes forward.
Yep. And I'll let my spike chain drag on the ground.
As it goes down the stairs. Yeah, so he allows 2 Shade Guard with swords drawn in front of him. And then he comes down. And then there's another 2 with swords. And then it becomes hard to count as more and more people fill this stairwell. But you lose count around 4 archers behind them.
So 4 swordsmen and 4 archers
that you've seen.
Surely you didn't bring all of these guards just to go looking for our mistress here.
Well, so you guys kind of filter through around the corner back out into the main mining expanse again. And that's where this conversation picks up. It was right then that you see that there's 6 archers and 4 swordsmen with Rask in the center. And he leans forward. And what was it you said, Rose?
That he surely didn't bring all these guards with him just looking for this little old messenger.
Well, when you're someone of high position, sometimes
Miss Beaumont? You're talking about Miss Beaumont, right? She's a very high position.
Is that what you told him?
I am here as an emissary from the Institute. Yes. Yes.
My.
I want to do an insight check on Adeline.
Roll it. And then Adeline, you can roll a deception, or you can just roll
23.
Okay. Yeah.
23.
I rolled a 19, so.
Adeline's definitely like been putting on some airs as far as like, you know, this is she's freaked out. This is her first thing. She's not as perhaps together as she wanted everyone to think.
Okay.
My, the webs we weave.
Well, as I'm caught in yours, I'm quite curious what it is exactly you want from me.
Well, I know that my boss was fairly taken aback that a certain Marcel Beaumont was not the one meeting with him. And so then it became a why? Why would his daughter just take off and take his responsibility?
He sent me in his stead. I volunteered for the task. It's about time I started pulling my own weight for the Beaumont family. It's surely no trouble. I'm just as capable of carrying a message back as my father.
And yet, now you appear down here after following some of my Shad Guard. And that becomes a problem.
Do you enjoy this, Mr. Rask? Picking on little girls?
Oh, I apologize. I will direct my picking against all of you, as right now you are collectively guilty of trespassing.
So,
Well, we're only here because you told us to come back here.
Yes, but you were in here.
Did you see us down here a moment ago?
I am not going to let you
You're
twist.
quite perceptive, aren't you? You really think Miss Beaumont can convince all of us to do her bidding?
No, I think you came of your own volition.
Own volition? You sound quite appetizable. Continue. Berate us. Do whatever you are. Come along. Put
What
on
was
a show.
your name?
I'm Rhapsody. A name you will not soon forget.
You're not from round here, are you?
What gave it away? My sense of style? Or my tact?
You could call it style. Now, what brings you down here to the mines?
You, of course.
No. See, we've done this. I'm not here. I'm here because you're here.
Well, in that case, we seem to have been misled in that just a small misunderstanding, that's all.
Make a deception check. with disadvantage again.
Fuck. 6.
My, we do get flustered, don't we? Now, I have a problem, and I'm sure that your merry band could help me. Could pay off a trespassing debt. Maybe I will forget that I found you down here when Grigor asks.
Well, that would be most convenient for us.
Most convenient. Right.
I don't have very much money.
Oh, do not worry. For you can pay this debt with yourselves and your services.
What?
Sounds
Well,
like you have some dirty bidding you'd like for us to do. There's a lot of that around here.
I don't know about dirty. But at bidding, yeah, you're about right there.
Betting, you're not my type. No.
He says, after all, it would be a shame for something to happen to little Lucian.
How?
Kids are funny things. They go missing all the time. I see it.
What do you want us to do?
That's what I thought. Come with me. Let's go for a walk. And he pushes past you, Lost, and drops a shoulder.
As he gets like right next to me, I lean in and I go, there's a special place in hell for people who threaten kids.
I'm not a religious person.
I am.
And he continues walking.
Adeline is following right behind him. No questions.
The rest of you coming along?
Reluctantly, but yes.
Yep.
So he leads you down this, because the ledge that you were on kind of looked out across the expanse. So just like refreshing what we did last time. Like this is a giant carved out mine. The glowing like elements and crystals and things, it's kind of like giving off like a turquoise glow to it. And then you see the occasional Shade Guard with those lanterns, and they're moving them around and looking around everywhere. But he leads you down this kind of slope that's been carved down that winds down to the bottom of the mine ground. And so there are mining carts and things around with these materials put in them. Adeline, as you're walking past one of the mine carts that has the gems inside it, you can make a history or an arcana check.
Oh, they're both the same. That is a 13.
13. You recognize it, but you can't think where from. But he leads you through that way. And so there are more and more Shade Guard as you guys are walking through, but they're mining what seems to be picking out of the walls these patches of crystal, and it's not everywhere. It is very, very sporadic, and it's not in vast amounts. But they're picking it out of the wall, throwing it into carts. Other ones are kind of pushing the carts around, and then the sort of tertiary role is moving the lanterns around. Were you going to say something?
How big are the bits of crystal that they're mining?
They vary in size. You're not, well, as you walk past the cart, there are pieces that are like fairly small. There are some like football-sized ones. There's nothing that is gigantic. It's not like half of the wall is completely crystal or anything like that.
Did you say that they glow?
Yes, they kind of woo, woo, with this. It's like a turquoise light that gets brighter into an almost white before fading back down. And so, kind of pushing past this main area, there are several cabins that go off in different directions. But he pulls you down to the, as you're facing this direction, the bottom right, following the minecart track. And you enter into this tunnel. The tunnel is probably about 20 feet wide, and about 10, 15 feet tall. And he says to you, Adeline, you see, we're down here mining Dragon Shard.
Dragon Shard. Does that ring a bell?
It's now clicking now that it's been said. You've seen pieces of Dragon Shard, but it's been encased, and it's very small pieces. And it's like a display, but it's almost locked up at the same time. You know, for research purposes, or you've never handled it or anything like that, and you've definitely never seen this much of it, even with the sporadic growth of the crystal here. You've never seen this much of it in one place.
Dragon.
Can I make a history check to see if in the smuggling circles, have I ever heard of this Dragon Shard?
Yeah, sure. Make a history check on that.
18.
18. So you know that it's very, very rare for Dragon Shard, or Druatium as the proper name is. It's very rare to be found in smuggling circles, and for that reason, you know that it's extremely valuable to the right audience. The right audience is fairly hard to come by, and that may be some of the reason that it's not seen in the smuggling circles or sought after, because it's so hard to offload.
Got it. Okay.
So we've been mining this Dragon Shard, but I'm losing men. You see, this being or beings that the guard are referring to as the twins.
The twins. Why ever would they call them that?
Because there's two of them? I don't know.
Oh, clever.
But my men are being taken. Seemingly through the walls, or if they should wander off a little too deep into the mines, they're picked off.
You want us to find them, or put an end to these twins?
There you go.
As soon as he says that, I'm going to use the Eyes of the Grave.
Okay. Is that fiend, undead, celestial?
It's just any undead within 60 feet.
Just undead. Okay. So as this wave of kind of gold scans over the area from your vision, it doesn't return any pings for undead.
So if we take care of this issue for you, we're free to go back up those stairs and just walk right out of here.
Yeah. Sure.
Your discretion concerning our presence here, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to insight check him.
And while you do that,
Insight check.
18.
18. You pick up on the pause before he answered the question. You're unsure whether that means that he's lying about letting you go or whether he just has almost like another plan that involves letting you go but kind of keeping you on a short leash.
You know, somehow you don't inspire a lot of confidence in your answer.
Well, that's because I don't have to.
How much exactly is this trespassing fee? Sounds like far more of a bargain to me.
Oh, it's not a fee, it's a sentence.
A sentence. You have 10 guards here. How is 7 people going to do what 10 guards cannot? Why are you wasting our time? What are these twins?
Well, it does seem that you've exhibited some abilities.
The ability to not hold a lantern? What do you mean?
Between you, you have shown some abilities. I don't have to say anything other than that. There are eyes everywhere. Most of them belong to me.
Who else would they belong to?
Other people above me. Now, come along. And he continues to lead you through. He asks you, Adeline, so what do you know of Dragon Shard?
I've only ever seen small bits of it at the Institute, kept under glass. They use it for study, but not in practice. God, whatever are you doing with so much of it?
Do you know how it's formed?
I can't say I do know.
But surely your studies, you know where the original magics come from.
Oh, well, yes. Everyone takes history. We all know that dragons are the source of magic. That's right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Good student.
Well done. Well, you see, what happens when a being of such pure magic and understanding, what happens when they die?
So, Dragon Shard is...
Where does the magic go? You see, when an ancient dragon dies, the magic seeps out into the ground around it and can start to distort the earth itself. And it starts to become Dragon Shard. You see, the funny thing about Dragon Shard is it starts to warp magic.
As in enhancing it or altering it altogether?
Little column A, little column B.
Fascinating.
I think that whatever these twins are, it's being utilized somehow. Just a hunch, but it seems oh so coincidental that these beings who no one has seen are somehow slipping in and slipping out. All the people have heard when they're nearby is laughter.
Why, that sounds unsettling. If they're using the shards to increase their own power, and we are expected to then get rid of them, how would we do that for ourselves to increase these abilities that you seem to know so much of?
You should give us each a shard.
You wouldn't know what to do with it.
That's all right. I can hold on to it for you.
I don't think so.
I'm asking.
What was that? Sorry.
And that's why I'm asking, in what manner do you think they're using it? Do you think that they themselves are arcane in nature to where they've studied and know how to use it? Or is it just the proximity?
I don't know. Nobody's seen them that's around anymore anyway.
Right. Fascinating.
I would whisper over to Lily. Do you hear anything? Do you see anything?
I hear and see lots of things.
Laughter? Twins?
Do I hear or see anything that's not physically in front of me?
Make a wisdom check.
Okay,
Straight wisdom.
Straight wisdom.
15. Okay, it takes a while as you guys are walking, but you see one almost like a shadow of an apparition of a Shade Guard miner, and he's picking at the wall with his pick, and then twitches, and then all of a sudden falls over backwards and starts scrambling backwards, panicked, pulling away, and he grabs his lantern and pulls it around, and he's dragged out and he's gone.
I see dead guards.
Huh. Did you catch a glimpse of what took them?
No, but they were terrifying.
Okay.
Adeline, what assurances has Rask given you regarding the solution?
I won't let him mess with my family. We'll do whatever he wants us to prevent that from happening. I will. I must. Rask,
Mhm.
do you go to the Institute often? How are you familiar with my family? You've heard of Marcel, my father, which I'm not surprised at. But you seem to know much more.
Like I said, eyes everywhere.
How many people know about your little operation down here?
In total, I don't know.
I mean, how do you keep all these guards' mouth shut?
They do what I tell them.
Will you threaten their family?
Maybe. Maybe I don't need to.
We'll do what you ask. We will dispatch of these twins, whatever they are, but you will leave the rest of the Beaumonts out of this. And I will never hear my brother's name on your lips again. Is that understood?
My, how uppity. We'll see if you can earn my respect.
Don't much want it or care for it.
Are we past where I saw the apparition?
Yeah, you guys have
Like, so
continued
we've been
to
like
walk.
walking through. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess after seeing that, I would just keep an eye out for any like holes in the tunnels or like,
Okay.
mined rocks that maybe like are covering a hole or another, like because it seemed like he was being drug elsewhere. So I'm just looking for, I guess, things that they could have been drug from where they were mining.
Okay. Yeah, so you can make either like a perception check if you're just kind of scanning as you're walking, or I'll allow an investigation if you want to kind of get your hands on the wall and kind of start feeling for things. Although this will be like a rapid investigation because you guys, you're still walking.
Perception.
Okay.
22.
22. Okay. So scanning across as you're walking through this tunnel. That was tunnel and cavern in one. It's kind of roughly cut, but you're not seeing any like holes, like even kind of looking towards the bottom where the wall meets the floor. There's no like even there's not even like a rat hole or anything like that. You don't see anything that would be used as like a makeshift passage or anything like that.
Got it. All right.
So you guys continue walking down the tunnel, whatever, and you start coming across these large stalagmites, but the rock it's a different shade. So this is like much paler than the like dark kind of gray rock that is carved into the mine. This is much more pale, almost verging on a like a dirty white kind of color. And these stalagmites, they start on either side of the cavern as you're walking through. Very smooth in nature, coming to like sharp points at the top.
I don't know if I would know. I mean, would it make sense to think that this part of the cavern is older, or? I don't have survival. Oh, I do. Oh.
You proficient in survival?
Well, I'm not proficient in it, but I have +4 for some reason.
I mean, if you're trained in history, I'll let you do a history check.
Yes, I am.
I'm half proficient.
I got an 8.
Yeah, all right, Miss Bod. You got a what? 8?
8, don't worry.
Man, rocks is rocks.
There's so many rocks here. Wow.
Is it like the same? It's smoother, but is it like more brittle? Is it like, does it look like the same rock and just colored differently and smoothed out, or does it look like it's like a different material?
Are you proficient in nature or survival?
I mean, I'm half
A little bit of
proficient
everything.
in
Jack of all trades.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I'm just telling you. Like, I'm not
I
trying
yeah.
to get an edge. I'm just asking the question.
I'll allow you to make either a history or no, make a nature check,
Okay.
and I'll adjust the DC because you have that like half trained. So no, rocks is rocks. Oh, you got a 1.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
got a 3.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to say. It doesn't look like, even at first glance, like anyone looking at it, it doesn't appear to be the same material.
So when you describe this as a tunnon, and I'm serious with this question. I'm not trying to be silly. Was this something that they tunneled? Like, did they cut this tunnel and then they just left when they were mining the tunnel out? Did they just leave these standing because they were a different color, or was this kind of tunnel already here and they were just kind of mining off the sides of it?
If you want to go and make an investigation check, I'll allow you to make an investigation check, and you can have advantage on it.
Okay. 12.
12?
Yeah.
DC was not high for you.
Okay.
These look like teeth.
Okay.
Teeth.
And then as you start walking through, the stalagmites are met overhead with stalactites, similar shape, curved, pointed edge.
Oh.
I'm gonna, in my head or in Roz's head, I'm going to say, when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, it's kind of the same shape as these coming out of the ground and from the roof of this cavern.
I'm glad you ended that sentence that way.
Like, I think we're inside a giant dragon's head.
So the commanders not all talk?
No, I don't think so.
Adeline just, oh, another rock. So many rocks.
So the TikTok sound.
Look at these rocks.
These rocks.
And then Lost is actually just going to continue walking down the corridor. And he leans back and he says, the faster we kill these twins, the faster we can find out what reason Rask is going to give us to kill him.
Is Rask still there?
Mm-hmm.
He's up front with Adeline.
Okay.
She's just pointing out rocks. To, oh, what? Did you see that one? Wow.
Yeah, too.
What? That's so crazy.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys want to discuss or talk about or anything as you're walking through with Rask there?
Not with him there.
So the cavern, it starts to change from like the dark, mostly like dark rock around, and it becomes overhead. The floor stays the same, but overhead it starts to change to the like bony, dirty white color. And you surmise that you are inside the skull of a long dead dragon.
Yep.
And as you kind of come towards the edge of the teeth, he says, well, this is where we leave you to it.
Right. And when we've completed our task, we come to you where exactly?
At the beginning of the mine.
Right.
Where does this lead to eventually or ultimately?
Where we believe the twins are holed up.
Right. But if we kept following it, is it going to dead end at some point or is this going to come out somewhere else?
He doesn't know. He's never made it all the way through.
True. I guess he's too scared.
We'll bring back a map and just write it all down on this parchment.
We have a map, actually. It comes to a dead end because we didn't get any further before the twins started showing up. Or not.
Would you like to share that map with us? Maybe?
No.
Figured. All right.
I'll be back at the opening of the cavern.
Of course.
Otherwise known as the Coward's Corner.
He'll be back there waiting for the 3 young girls that have gone in to kill the scary monsters that he's afraid of.
He knows what we're capable of.
I know what he's afraid of.
I'm not afraid. It's just much easier to have one problem fix the other. And even if you don't do it, that fixes a problem too.
What helps you sleep at night, my dear? Shall we go?
As you sort of take off, he just shouts down the cavern and it echoes around, chamomile, as you walk off. And you start getting some distance away and you get the feeling that you're out of earshot.
Is Rose's shield still shining light?
Is it an hour?
I think so.
I think it's an hour.
Sorry. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So yes.
Yes. So I'll not be in the very front, but close to the front.
Yeah, this is a wider, like 20-foot cavern, and it is starting to open up, a little bit. So the light is managing to emanate around. It's not quite like the single file staircase.
After we get about 60 feet in, I want to use another Eyes of the Grave, which gives me another 60 feet of undead seeing.
You're not getting anything back.
If we weren't here, potentially being sent to our death, this would be quite fascinating.
So did you realize that we were walking through an ancient dragon skull?
You know, I thought the rocks here and the rocks there looked similar in a way that...
Yeah, those were teeth. Look.
It's just the same.
Yeah. Well, those are much bigger than mine.
No, you don't say.
Before we move any further, does anyone need a healing potion?
I do. I'm still hurting from that lily.
Okay. And I'll hand you a 2d4 plus 2 healing potion.
I still have 2. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and take that as an action if I can.
Sure.
Do I roll it or?
Yep.
Okay.
I still have 1 rose, dear.
I will remind Rose that you have the alchemy jug, which can produce a regular potion, as long as you have somewhere to dispense it.
Well, I'm about to give her an empty bottle. So here's your empty bottle back.
Thank you.
And I got 9 points of healing.
You were right there, Rose, about him being afraid. I sensed it a while back.
And honestly, rightfully so, whatever it is. I don't believe it's living. but I don't think it's undead.
What else is there?
Everything in between, fiends.
I must say, I know we all came down here and got caught and in trouble and all, but I do feel responsible for us taking this particular bargain in order to protect my family.
Well, it was our fault that we were down here.
Well, yes, I wasn't going to point fingers, but I'm a bit cross about that. But, you know, we're here and we are going to not die at the hands of some unseen enemy.
But I really think I should point out he was going to find you no matter where we went.
Yes, it does seem that I made an impression.
Is Lucius your little brother or
Lucius-
something?
Yes, Lucian is my younger brother.
You know, this guy's a bully. Like, he's worse than a bully, but he's a really big bully. And I don't like bullies at all. And no matter what happens here, if we get out of this, we can't let him continue to do this.
I don't want to do anything that would incur wrath on my family, but I agree. He may have heard some inkling of what we're capable of, but he has no idea.
It seems like we should get rid of him.
And Lost smiles and nods at Kaya. That's the first aggressive thing I've heard you say for a long time. Ever, I believe.
I don't like bullies.
Oh, and I don't like anyone that uses children as currency. I've smuggled people. I've smuggled
Well,
slaves. I've smuggled.
We can't let this guy continue.
Children. No.
well, Kaya, the threads of fate have bound us with him now. And whether it's now or whether it's later, I do believe that we have met this one in order to correct a few things.
Yep. I'm going to end him.
New time. First, how are we going to find an unseen enemy with no description who we assume lives here? We're on their hunting grounds, and who are aided by ancient, powerful dragon shard. The odds are a bit stacked against us, I am worried to say.
I don't believe we're going to have to find them. I believe that they will find us.
You know,
Wow.
everyone that they've attacked, obviously, I mean, because the only people down here were the ones mining, but if we don't try to get any of the dragon shard, maybe they won't attack us. I mean, that just might be wishful thinking.
What a curious thought. It could be something to draw them out, at least, if we do not find them. But Rose, as you say, I fear that might be the case. That
I wonder if maybe we could communicate with them and get them to come out with us as opposed to attacking.
perhaps if we explore a bit more, we can find some sign. They say they disappear through the walls. I'm not that familiar with beings that can walk through solid matter. Are you?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
I'm
they're
not, but-
living, but yes.
Oh.
Well,
that's something.
I have a mind to collect some of these dragon shards myself, and if it brings out the monster, so be it. Do I see any? As we're walking down, have I seen us pass any shards? No.
No, not on the way past here.
Okay.
Although you do know that they did mine this out. Like they dug this, so you would assume that anything that was there had been
Deeper.
taken.
Okay. Looks like we'll have to go deeper. Are we ready?
Then we press on.
Okay. So we keep going, shoulder to shoulder like Avengers.
Yeah, so as you get into this next section of the cabin, what you do notice overhead is that there are almost like semicircular giant bones coming down from the roof, kind of half sunk in, that looks like vertebrae. And these are bigger than any of you have seen. Ginormous. This was an ancient dragon.
Were ancient dragons color coded? Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what kind of dragon this was.
Well, those gemstones were blue. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Oh, I do wonder.
They weren't gemstones. They were his teeth.
No, I meant
The
when
shards.
they first came down. The
Oh, the
dragon.
shards.
Yeah.
Oh.
The teeth were white, like teeth.
Hiya.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you do the thing with your mind, similar to Miss Adeline?
Right.
Do you think it would work on these structures? I mean, I know they've been dead for eons, probably, but you know how you drink something and there's still that little bit left in it?
Yeah. I mean, I
Maybe-
can try. And like, you want me to try to communicate with the dragon's soul or
Essence,
essence?
Ethereum, anything?
I mean, I can try. So I'm gonna just kind of close my eyes and concentrate and send out a thought wave of a greeting, just a general emotional feeling of hello, not like a language, but like an emotion.
Okay. So as you kind of kneel down and push out your psychic heritage from the Emerald Dragon line, you feel it emanate from you. Nothing.
Yeah, it didn't work. I didn't think it would, but maybe I can try again further down the tunnel. I don't know. We'll see. It was a good thought, though. I didn't think of it.
The teeth thing just kind of reminded me.
Yeah.
Okay, so you press on a little bit further. And I would say the sisters, you guys would pick up on this before anyone else. But, you know, everyone else is kind of chit-chatting amongst themselves, except Lost, who's just kind of fuming to himself.
Oh, he's just imagining the different ways he's going to kill Rask.
And all of a sudden, and it cuts through everyone. No one else picks this up but you two. And you hear.
They're here.
On your card. They're near.
See them?
Do we see anything?
I don't see anything.
Make a perception check.
Can all of us?
Sure.
23.
21.
You guys would look, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
I mean, we're all, she said, be on your guard. I'm definitely looking around. 16.
And
Ooh, dirty 20.
Okay. So 17 and above. The laughing has faded. And you wait for a second. And the sisters hear this from a different angle.
All right, everybody, put your backs together. Let's kind of make a circle and face out.
We're the only ones who heard that.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything. Yeah.
You
Right.
hear it coming from a different angle. Everyone 17 and above heard that. It sounds like it's coming from distance. Everyone 20 and above on their perception checks. Notice in the distance beyond where your shield lights, there is a faint warbling. Woo, woo. Turquoise verging on white light that seems to be emanating from around a corner and spilling out.
There. I point.
I don't know what to do.
Do we go to it or does it come to us? What do we do?
How far is that away from the corner?
60, 70 feet.
Oh,
I don't think it's gonna come into the light.
Actually, no, from where we are, like, it's the 30 feet for that. It's probably about 100 feet.
Can you speak with us?
You just say that out loud.
Yeah.
You hear directly in all of your minds simultaneously. We can speak, right, brother?
Oh, your brothers.
Yes, twins, 2 of us.
I'm here with my sister.
That's me.
What is it you're looking for? Are you gone?
We're here.
Could you step into the light so that we could see you?
No response.
What have you been doing with all the miners that you've been taking? We're not here to take your treasures.
I have no treasures. No need.
What do you need?
Just me and my brother.
Oh. At
we
least
need the same.
anything from us.
What do you want?
To be left alone.
Did the miners disturb you? Like invade your space? Like did you live here?
Yes. Trespassing everywhere.
What is your name?
We are Carve.
Carve?
What did you say?
And it goes dead.
But what did he say?
Carve.
Carve. Kharv.
No, I can't believe that I'm saying this, but I much preferred it when they were laughing all creepy like. The silence is honestly way more unsettling.
Oh, I didn't find it creepy.
That's good.
Be another mistaking identity. I mean, we came across some kobolds like this. Well, not exactly like this, but the impression was that they were bad, and they weren't.
Which is why I would like to speak to them before we try to hurt anyone.
They are amiable to speak some more.
Carve, what are you? Who do you serve?
I want to go into the dark.
Okay,
with
like
my
further up the tunnel.
Goggles on, yeah.
Okay. Yep. So you slide on your goggles of night
And just start
and press
walking
forward. Okay. Are you
Now
being
we're talking.
stealthy?
What?
Are you being stealthy, or are you?
Do you think I would let you do that alone?
I'm not
If
saying
you
anything.
go.
I mean, I don't know if Lily's thinking stealthy, but I think she just.
Or are
like,
you going
naturally
carefully,
just
I should say?
go-
Are you going carefully? Are you being cautious?
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I
think
would
she's
count- I
being
would-
cautious. Yeah.
I would count that as being stealthy as well, because you like watching your step and things,
Yeah.
As you
not
step
like stomping.
as
through
you
the-
step away from me, because I'm gonna see it with my passive of 22, I will touch you.
15.
Yeah.
Stealth.
Yeah, I definitely saw that. I mean, I can roll unless my passive is
No,
okay.
you're good.
Okay. As you step away from me, which I can see you're trying to do something, and I trust you in this situation because I kind of, yeah, I am going to cast the Shield of Faith on you. So you now have a flower blooming around you.
Well, Loss is going to take a defensive stance, dodge action, and be like, YOLO, let's go. And follow along.
+2 to your AC.
Okay. If everyone's going cautiously, I'll have everyone make stealth checks.
Oh, are we? We're
Well, I
all-
was
oh,
trying to get out of the shield light specifically.
11.
Just
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to go like ahead 30 feet?
Yeah, I just wanted to go into the darkness.
Is everyone else just leaving you go?
I'm letting her. I trust her.
Okay,
I'm going, yeah.
That's why I put a shield on her.
got it. Understood.
Adeline is not going. No.
Just you by yourself. And you rolled a 15?
Yep.
Got it.
Oh,
So-
Loss is going to follow because Loss is bored. Yeah. He's
All right. Are you being stealthy?
yeah, I rolled a disadvantage. I got a 15.
15. Okay. So
We both got 15.
you guys, yeah, it makes it easy for me. Walk along ahead into the dark towards. Are you going towards where the glow is coming from?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So nothing happens the whole way. You're now about 100 feet from your sister. And the light
Furthest
is
we've
getting
ever been,
brighter
like-
and brighter, and it's cascading light along the floor and up the other side of the cavern wall. But you come to the edge. How close do you want to be?
To the orb.
There's,
To-
So
there's
the,
no
just,
the corner, because it
Oh.
goes around to the side, and that's where the light is cascading out.
I like to get a look.
I am going to turn the light off on my shield and start moving towards her because it makes me so nervous that she's so far from me.
Okay. Are you just booking it?
I'm not going to make a bunch of noise, so I will roll for stealth if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else that's going can either make stealth rolls or can just go. depending on what you want to do.
Are we
Yeah.
are we going towards the thing? Or are we like, because it's dark now and we're all just kind of like here and like.
I only rolled a 12.
Yeah, we need to go. We need to go. We shouldn't stay back here. I can't see anything anyway. So
I wouldn't have
Um,
stayed for that conversation. I would have already been.
You're already gone.
Roz would have touched like Kaya's shoulder. They probably like traveled in the dark
Mhm.
before and are used to it.
Got
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it's not completely dark. You see the light of the corner.
Extend hand out too.
Yeah, it gets brighter the closer you
Aloy
get.
has dark vision. She's just freaked out, but she's gonna follow behind the other two, just like, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine.
Okay, so we catch up to Lily approaching the corner. You want to peek around?
Yeah.
As you look around the corner, what you see is this small, sort of like a cave. You can see the back because there's these giant crystals placed upon pedestals, 2 of them, probably 8-9 feet tall, like just the crystal itself, at the back of the cavern, which is emanating this light out as it dies back to dark and then bright. Obviously, with the goggles of night, you kind of have to lift them off because when the light brightens up, it's just white.
Mm-hmm.
But you see several large rocks could have fallen from the roof, could have just been mined out and then left.
No movement.
So that's you can roll for perception
Okay.
to see that, because it is a glance around the corner.
19.
19. Near one of the crystals, the light pulses. And as it starts to die down, you see a shadow across the back wall. A large shadow. It didn't make a sound.
Hello.
No response.
Well, they're here, but I don't know where they are.
how far back are we?
You'd be catching up at this point. Rose first, followed by everyone else.
What do you see, Lily?
Just shadows of their movements. They're very large.
That's good.
What are they?
I don't know. I've just seen a shadow.
Well, what do we do?
Kav, show yourself.
No response.
I feel really terrible just walking into someone's home and killing them.
I know, I just want to have a conversation.
I mean, they've definitely killed miners, but they walked into their home and...
I mean, maybe we could help then kill the rest of the miners and they could get their house back.
Oh, wow. That is... There were a lot of them.
Yeah, but these guys are, I mean, you can't even see them.
Yeah. I don't know that we're going to be able to give the twins what they want. They want to be left alone. I don't know how we can't get them to give up the mining operation. I mean, we're already about to be arrested.
I think we already were arrested, or at least that's
Detained. Hopefully nothing will go on my record. Oh my god, I hope nothing goes on my record.
I don't think that should be of your worry right now.
Well, out of everything, I mean, you're right.
I want to go closer to the crystal thing and look at it.
It's way at the back of the cave, but you can go towards it.
I will walk towards it.
Okay. As you enter the room with the light woof, woof, going off of these two crystals, looking around, being cautious going in, obviously
And like
defensive.
looking for every little thing, like
Yeah.
any kind of movement.
Make a perception check.
Uh, 24.
24.
Yeah.
Okay. You see a shadow move to the side. Your head glances. You see another one. You just pause in the middle of this room as it warbles with these glowing lights. The only light that fills this cavern.
Do I catch that Rose just stopped and is like on guard?
If you're looking around the corner, yeah, you would see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way up
Okay.
next. Yeah.
So Lost starts to make his way into the room. You catch a flash. This movement. You looked, anticipating the movement to try and catch what the shadow was. And it's there, directly in front of you, 30 feet away. This large, grotesque mouth. Drool cascading out of its mouth. One giant eye staring directly at you, twitching. You see the veins and the muscles in the eye just moving around as stalks start to unravel over the head. As all of you simultaneously hear in your head, trespassers. And that's where we're going to go to break.
Oh.
Oh no.
wow.
Who does
Yay!
Yes. You finally made it there. Guys, stick around. We'll be back in 10 minutes to see how this pans out. And yes, we do have a map for tonight. So you get to see the gang in action. So thank you so much for sticking around. Please hold on for the extra 10 because it's about to get crazy.
Oh my God.
What a sight to behold.
And welcome back, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I think we had to get some nervous peas out the way. So before the break, we had left off with
I'm nervous.
Rose tiptoeing into the room, followed by Lost a little behind to try and find out, as shadows on either side, as she tries to pick up the movement in this glow emanating from the giant crystal structures on the pedestals at the back, filling the cavern with this turquoise to white light, and back down to nothing. She sees movement, anticipates it, and turns to see this drooling mouth with a large eye as stalks start to move around with eyes in front of them. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Mhm.
It's a terrible initiative. Just let me know when you want me to go to the battle.
You can do it.
Okay.
Well,
A really good
I'm
initiative.
glad I got
Don't
my
want it.
crit ones out of the way. Net ones. Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. Does that have everything in it? Not quite. There we go. Okay. So, Rose, you were a little ways in. Where do you want to be?
There's good.
Right there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'm going to put you, like, here, if that's okay.
Sure.
So you can actually see into the room there.
Yeah.
This is a tall rock, so. Okay. And Lost, you were just behind. It's like here, maybe?
Yeah, I was trying to get next to her.
Yep. Because you were a little bit behind. She had crept in a little bit ahead. Okay, so who is filling up the entrance? In what order?
I'll come next.
Yep. There. I don't know if you can quite see. It's just kind of move you in here. There. Raz, I assume you are close by.
Yes. Would have been guiding him until we got to the light.
Adeline is super hiding behind the both of them.
Okay, so you're right behind as well. And then
we're so close.
Lily?
I would have been making my way towards my sister after, like, she started walking in.
Okay, so like.
Looks good to me.
Yep. All right.
Oh, yeah. It's so cute. You guys, we can't kill it. It's so cute.
It is cute.
Wait, where?
All right. Oh. Okay. All righty. Initiative, guys. 25 to 20.
20.
Funny, unnatural.
Unnatural.
Mine was dirty too. And I would
Oh.
love to not go first. Can I just give that to you?
Well, I assume Rhapsody has a slightly higher dex.
I would be upset if he
Plus
did.
4.
Yeah, +2. Still higher than I thought mine was going to be fair.
That is a high for sorcerer. All right, 20 to 15.
16.
16. Kaya. 15 to 10.
11.
Rose. Oh no, guys. 10 to 5.
7.
I got a 3.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I rolled a net 1. I rolled a net 1 for my initiative. Yeah.
Wow.
A 3. Awesome. Okay, that's everyone, right?
Yes.
Okay, so after revealing itself to Rose, top of the round, we have Rhapsody. What are you doing, bro?
Rhapsody's gonna reach to his side and pull out his healing potion and drink it.
All right. I do those as bonus actions.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yep.
6, 7, 8. Healing for 8.
8. Cool.
And then are we attacking it? Did it do anything? Oh, I hate this. Okay. Rhapsody will go into a defensive like dodge mode
Okay.
and take the dodge action and stay close to Miss Beaumont and Kaya and see like, is it attacking us?
Okay.
But-
do you want to move?
As long as I'm mostly in front of Adeline, it'll be fine. But yeah.
Because you can come around here. This is a rock here. You can come around this way if you want to get closer to Rose.
Okay, I'll go up to where Rose is so it can't like come through us without anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Is that it, bud?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm all dodged up.
So running in and swigging a potion along the way.
What are we doing?
Skidding to a halt before being like, oh God, and taking a defensive position. Adeline, you're up.
Like we're not gonna make friends with it, right? Like
You never know. We could have a
I mean,
beholder
look
as our
at
first
it,
pet.
though.
you guys.
It's straight
So
cute.
It's got little tentacle stuff.
Okay, then I am going to give it a very gentle, friendly caress with a chaos bolt upside the side.
With a what?
Okay,
chaos
so
bolt.
from here you don't actually see it.
Oh, do I not?
'Cause
I have a
there's-
range of
There's a
120.
There's a rock right here.
Then I'll move over to that right side, kind of, but still kind of staying behind Rhapsody. And just kind of.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, I'd say you can use 20 feet of movement and get here and get just visual
Okay.
over it.
Great. Then Chaos Bolt. So I roll an attack on it.
Okay.
This is just
Okay. Wait, where's my thing?
Adeline, do you have a weak stomach? I always hear you gagging.
That's just Ashley being terrified of whatever's gonna happen. Okay. Okay. So 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Fantastic. All right. So this spell's kind of weird. I roll 2d8 plus 1d6, and then I decide the number on one of them causes the kind of damage that I choose. I love the spell. It's so weird. Okay. So 2d8 and a d6. Fantastic. Okay. 10 total damage, 6 of which is going to be acid.
Ooh.
Okay. 10, you said? 10 total?
10 total.
Sweet.
And then duck behind Rhapsody again, like, ah!
So running in, you kind of let this arcane bolt unleash from your hand as it travels through the air, and it starts to liquefy and turn into this black acid. As it strikes this aberration in front of you, it starts to singe as it Is that everything?
Yeah.
All right.
Kobolds didn't do that.
Okay, it is the mini beholder
No.
turn. So rushing in and getting attacked, it's going to focus 2 of its eyes, and they're going to start to glow. Okay.
If I can't see it, it can't hit me, right?
Exactly.
All right, so it's going to fire 1 beam at Rose. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 22.
Yeah, that succeeds. So you start to feel this presence in your head that starts to scatter your thoughts, but you just kind of force it off and shake it through it. And then another eye will focus on the one that just hurt it. And Adeline, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. 22.
Wow. Okay.
More
Yeah.
than that, 19.
You succeed. So you take half damage. And you take 10 points of necrotic damage as this black beam just shoots out and slams into your chest as you feel the life force being drained from you.
I'm in danger.
Going to
Danger.
sweep around here.
So where's its twin?
That's what I was wondering.
And is the twin bigger? Because I saw a large shadow and nothing's adding up right now.
I mean, that's large
Is
compared
it?
to you. It's taking up a good deal of space. I don't mean large as in like size, but like
Okay.
compared to you, it's pretty fucking
Okay.
big.
I mean, yeah, like Lily, everything's bigger than me.
Right. So that's gonna end its turn. Kaya, you're up.
How far away am I?
Woo! You don't know.
That's why I'm asking. I can see it though, right?
If you move 5 feet to the right, you would be able to see over shoulders. You move like here.
Yeah. I want to move diagonal so that I can get closer to it with my move. At least.
Which way?
Yeah.
There's a lot of plugging here.
Between towards the creature,
there are people in the way. Where would you like to
Oh,
go?
there's not a gap in between them?
This is you.
Right.
This
Behind-
is kind of blocked off. You could maybe.
Oh, okay.
You could maybe get through.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll go that way.
I'm gonna need an acrobatics check off of.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go that way with my full movement to go around that rock to the left.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check. See if you can push through this tight space.
Well, that's a 25.
All right. Yeah. Unencumbered by that.
And my movement is 40.
There you go. That gets you in line of sight.
Do I? Is there anything off to my left? I'm just wanting to make sure I'm not about to get ambushed from the side.
I mean, do you want to use your action?
Do I have to use my action to do a perception check?
If you want, like, if you want to take a look around, stop and look around. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so am I? I'm not 15 feet from that thing, am I?
20.
Yeah, you're further than 15.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take the dodge action.
Okay. And
I'm gonna, keep my eye, on the one that I see, but I'm also looking to see if I'm about to be ambushed from the left. So
okay. Got it. And that's your turn?
Yep.
Rose, you're up.
Okay. I will move to my right to where I'm in more of a. I can see it, right? That rock isn't obstructing my view where I'm at.
See over it.
Okay, then I will toll the dead. It's a wisdom save.
You want to stay there and do it?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's what, 60 feet? Is that the...
Yes, it is.
All right. Wisdom?
Yes.
Oh, no. That is 7.
That fails. So... Oh, I rolled the full. He gets 8 damage of... Oh, it's... I'm sorry. Hang on. Has the creature been hit at all? Been taken damage? Okay, and then I rolled the wrong dice. I apologize. It is 11 necrotic damage.
11. Okay.
Mm.
So as you push out this necrotic energy towards the mini holder, he doesn't seem as affected by it as you think. Kaya, you can make a perception check.
Oh, damn. The wrong time to do that. 9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay. Rose, is there anything else you wanted to do?
Is Lost right behind me there?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I move out of his path, make it easier because I think there's 2 rocks. I just want to move to where he could get past me easier.
You can move back here.
Yeah, that. I'll move back. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 10 feet there gives him a clear path.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
All right.
That's all. I don't have a bonus action this round.
That's your turn?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And it's at that time.
Oh, no.
That coming out from behind the rock.
So cute.
It's really cute.
I know.
It's gonna float back here, right there, and his stalks, the eyes are gonna start glowing. And the one he doesn't see Rose, who just attacked. So he's gonna go after Adeline with that one again. So I need you to make another Constitution saving throw.
Bye, guys. Oh, nat 20.
Woo!
Whoa! All right.
So I take nothing, right?
You take. Ooh, you want to be glad you didn't get that. 16 halved to 8.
I'm still down.
You down?
Oh,
Down. Bye.
Okay.
So still reeling from the previous hit, this other creature appears and fires another and catches her in the same spot in the chest as you hit the ground. Boop. And
I would like to take my bonus action now. Just kidding. I know how D&D works.
and he is going to use his other eye ray on Kaya, who's rushing. So Kaya, I need a Constitution saving throw.
21.
21. Damn. All right.
17 plus 4.
Yeah. So you feel this like slowing energy as your muscles start to seize up, but you just kind of will yourself through it and break through it.
Yeah, I don't want to be petrified. Oh my God.
Oh, you don't know that's what was happening?
Felt like it.
And gonna stay there. All right. Lily, you are up and lost on deck.
Oh, I am in this. I would like. Can I see in between Rose and Lost?
You'd be able to see.
Okay. So I would like probably take a step forward just so I'm a little bit closer. And then I would like to cast Dissonant Whispers on our blue guy.
Ooh.
For a wisdom save, please. DC 14.
That is a 19.
Are you sure? I think you misread that.
15 plus 4.
No, that's not right.
But that wasn't the plan.
Half as much on a success. Six psychic damage.
Okay. Yeah, Kaya, make another perception check for me.
Well, that one was better. That will be a 22.
22. As you were the closest one to the one that they've been shooting off on the right hand side, you get close and there's 0 damage. There are no markings of damage anywhere on his body, and his brow just furrows as he
Hey guys, can I say something?
Quickly, if you want to.
Hey, we're not hurting this thing. It's not even hurt even a little bit.
Lily, was there anything else? Nope.
No.
Okay. Lost. You're up.
All I do is psychic.
Is there a rock to the northeast of me? I'm looking at the screen and it like in between me and the
There's a rock here, and a rock here. Here, here, and here.
Got it. Okay, I'm gonna run up and end up right behind that rock to the northeast.
This one?
Yeah.
Right behind it. So 5, 10. Like there?
No, to the square to the right of it. Yeah, there. So basically, Lost runs up and then slides right to the edge of that rock. And then when he slides to a stop, with his bonus action, I summon my Shade, and you see a shadowy image of Lost continue sliding right up in front of right in front of the beholder.
Hold on.
Oh, you have a mini for that? Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
So it's going to continue
Sliding. So it's good. I can conjure it up to 15 feet away. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 15.
Yeah, and then I will attack through my echo.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, 25
25. Yeah, that hits.
for 13 damage.
All right.
And then I will spend. I'm gonna unload on this guy. I'm gonna spend my Unleash Incarnation. So whenever I take an action,
Before
attack
you
action.
do,
Take another swing at it.
Wait.
as you're slashing at your chain,
Yeah, with my chain. Yep.
you throw it out, and it just whips through it and comes back, like it made no contact at all.
Okay.
Did I see that happen?
But yeah, with your passive, I imagine, yeah.
Got it. Okay. The remainder of my all right, let me see here. All right. Yeah, the remainder of my move, I am going to run right up to it. So
You're gonna
run up right up to that rock where I'm standing behind the next rock. If I have movement left.
That's your movement. You are
Okay.
10 feet away, so you have reach.
So I've got reach, but my echo swung and hit nothing there. So I'm actually just gonna stay there.
Okay.
Because my echo swung at the blue beholder and just went right through it, right?
Yep, that's what you saw.
Okay.
In fact, Kaya and Raz, you can make perception checks as you're kind of watching this happen.
19.
19.
5.
Okay. Kaya, what you notice is there is a beam of energy just every so often, and you catch it this one time as you're kind of frantically looking around as the chain just whips straight through its form. And there's a beam of energy between the two crystals, which then sparks down to the blue aberration.
Like it's projecting it, or it's
That's what you see.
protecting it. Okay.
Lost. Is there anything else you want to do?
Let's see. I took a bonus action. I moved. I took my attack action. That's all. Yeah.
Okay. Rhapsody, you're up. Adeline on deck.
Roz, being previously in dodge mode, will kind of like sense Adeline falling behind him and like whip around to catch her.
Ballroom
And
dancing style.
yeah, there's like billowing silks. But he's gonna try and use his action to stabilize her, so that she's not like dying, if that's possible. Maybe like a medicine check or anything.
You want to try and stabilize her?
Yeah,
Are you trained in medicine?
I'm proficient in it.
Okay, yeah, same thing. Yeah, sure. Make a medicine check. Do you have anything on you?
I just have the tea herbs.
Okay.
Let's see.
Use yourselves. I don't know.
I have a small block of cheese.
Oh God, the cheese. Okay.
Actually, my
Um,
backstory that Adeline is fueled by cheese.
Yeah. I believe it.
With my
I'm
background.
lactose intolerant.
Okay.
12 for
12.
medicine.
You're checking all of your pockets and things, like your satchel, trying to find something to aid, but you don't have anything on you. All you see is this black wound as it starts almost festering and eating away at the flesh as it pulls away at her chest.
That's unfortunate.
So that was your action.
Yeah, and then I will use one key point to do patient defense and go back into dodge mode, but I will pick up Adeline and with my 50 movement half, kind of like take her 25 feet away from there.
So you want to back out?
Yeah, like back towards the other girls.
Yep. So 5, 10, 15. Do you want to swing around back to...
Yeah, more trying to get rock coverage if possible.
25 there. I guess she's kind of obscured by the rock.
Oh, I didn't
She
even
was on
see
the
that
floor.
rock. Yeah. It's a ninja. And that movement, bonus action. That should be me. Good.
There you go. I up the contrast a little bit. Should help.
Ooh, there you
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, okay. So that's your turn. Adeline, I need you to make a death saving throw.
Woohoo!
Welcome to the team.
Oh, don't fuck me.
As long as it's
6.
6.
fine.
That
As long
is-
as it's not a 1.
That is one fail.
Yep.
Like, yep.
Yep. If this character dies, I'm gonna be so mad. I love this wig.
And their twin sister.
A twin
Our
sister.
twin sister has arrived.
Okay, so
Adeline.
it's at that moment that Lost and Kaya, you see from the ground the same kind of slick gelatinous goop that is kind of dripping out of their mouths starts to seep through the floor and out onto the stone, and it covers this area here.
Wait. Layer
And this-
actions? Excuse
Hold
me.
up.
And this is considered rough terrain
I am shook.
for the next round. And with that, it is the blue one's turn. So, He is going to. Okay. Two of its eye stalks start to raise up, one pointing towards Lost and the other pointing towards Kaya. Lost, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution. All right. Let's see here. It's 16.
16 fails.
Okay.
So as you recognize this beam of black energy that comes out, the same one that struck Adeline, you take 19 points
God,
of
I'm
necrotic, necrotic damage. Yeah, you want to be lucky.
I take 9 or yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
As the beam strikes you in the shoulders, you recoil from it, and I need Kaya to make a wisdom saving throw.
Plus a 22.
22. That again, you get the not again. You get these thoughts that just kind of start pulling apart the way that you're thinking, and you just shrug it off and manage to push through with no effect. And the blue one is going to light up his main eye as the white starts to glow, and poof, you watch as your shadow disappears.
Okay.
And he moves back towards the crystal. And that will end its turn there.
Oh no. Oh no, she's fading. Come back.
Kaya, you are up with Rose on deck.
1, 2, 3.
Wait, so that beholder just moved away, right?
Yes. Oh, you would get an attack of opportunity because you have reach.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
You can roll that if you want. I forgot about the
That is a 17 to hit.
17 just hits.
Just hits. Okay, that is 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay, so as you throw out your chain and it goes to strike directly in the eye, just like a scorpion tail flicking out as it sinks in and leaves without making purchase.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to move 10 feet towards the one in the purple. And I'm just going to breathe in and then just like push out with my breath weapon this 15-foot cone of like a wave of energy. And I need it to make a dexterity save of 12. Or not make it.
It's a funny call. But yeah, okay. That's a natural 18 on the die.
Okay, so it takes half damage.
If you'd like to roll as good as Jay.
Norse Foundry.
Yeah, so
roll
that's
all of the best eye rays that can take your players down.
6 points of psychic halved to 3.
Okay.
And
as you do that, looking directly at the purple one, you do see him recoil in pain.
Okay.
And you recognize that took.
All right. I think this purple guy is the real one. And I'm going to I'm going to move 10 feet back behind the corner of that rock behind me to the left so that the purple one can't see me directly.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Is that it?
Yep. And that should get me out of the area of difficult terrain, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Rose, you're up.
So I am going to reach my hand back and look back where Adeline is. And I am going to, you're going to see this like gold strands of energy that leave me and go to her, and she will heal for 9 hit points because we don't even have to roll for it because you're at 0 and I'm a grave cleric. So you're going to get 9 points.
Clutch.
And that's a bonus action. So for my action, I'm going to hit purple with the guiding bolt.
Do you have to be able to see him?
It's 120 feet. Blah, blah, blah.
You do have to see it.
You gotta move out behind the rock. Yeah.
I will move out behind the rock to see the purple one.
Okay.
And I rolled, like 17 plus 7.
24.
So I'm assuming 24 hits.
It does, but as you cast out your guiding bolt and it leaves your hand and you feel targeted straight on him as it shoots out from you, it gets about halfway and just...
Oh, fuck those cones of fucking... Okay. Okay, then. I'll move back behind the rock. That's my most OP spell, guys. And he countered it. Or coned of anti-magic field it.
That was already there. Okay.
Well, at least Adeline's alive. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Too bad I only cast spells. Fuck.
It's okay.
Yeah, but if you have saving throw spells, it should still work.
Oh.
As long as you're not within the code itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's meta knowledge,
Yeah.
though.
Look at it this way. If you're in the cone, he can't hurt you either with his eye stalks.
Yeah, so he's going to stop metagaming. He's going to charge up 2 of his eyes and 1 at lost, the same black energy. It shoots towards you. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw. Okay. I fail.
All right. You automatically take half, so that is 8, 9, 10, 11 reduced to 6.
Okay.
And then Kaya, I need you to make a a Constitution saving throw as well.
18.
18. Ooh, that just succeeds. So again, as you feel your muscles starting to cramp up and tighten, you're able to just push through it and back off, shaking your head a little bit. And
Thank God I'm a fighter to get that proficiency in that con save.
that here. There we go. That's going to end his turn. And Lily, we're up with Lost on deck.
I like to poke around the corner next to my sister and cast Dissonant Whispers on the purple one.
Okay. Wisdom.
Yes.
Natural 18.
What the fuck?
Half damage, though?
Yeah. Seriously though. WTF. So that's gonna be 5 psychic damage.
That's already halved?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Kaya, and you see him again, just
He's
Visibly-
laughing, but he didn't like it.
visibly taking pain.
And then, as my action, as my bonus action, I'm going to give my sister Bardic Inspiration and just say, oh God, my brain just stopped working. I will say, I don't know. I say something very inspiring.
I'm so inspired.
Something about
Thanks.
fate.
It's okay. You can give your sister a look, like a knowing
That's
look.
true. We don't even need
And
words,
it's
Lily.
not actually a look.
It's just
but she
deadpan,
knows.
and she's like, "I know I can do this."
Got this.
Awesome. Is that end your turn?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna like kind of step back so I'm not like just standing out in the middle of nothing. Yeah. Perfect.
All right. Lost.
So Lost is gonna move as far as he can, northwest, towards the purple, because it's difficult terrain, right?
Yes, through here. So that gets you within 10.
Within 10, great. I use my bonus action to summon the echo right behind the.
Actually, well, if you go there, if you take it directly, yeah, that works.
And then I'll summon the echo behind the purple.
Okay.
And I'll use my attack action to attack from the echo.
All right.
Yeah. And that is a 17.
17 just hits.
Just hits? Okay. That's just 6 damage.
6. Nice.
6 damage. And I spend one of my, let's see here, I'll spend my mana, Unleashed Incarnation. It's whenever I take an attack action, I can do this to make 1 regular attack from the echo's position.
So you get an extra attack.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a 19
Yeah, that hits.
for 10 damage.
Ooh, nice.
And does action surge cost anything? Action surge.
Yeah, it's
Is
I mean, you
action
can
surge-
do it whenever.
Oh, I'll spend an action surge as well.
All right.
1 more attack.
Another attack.
Blowing my load. Yeah. 15.
15 just 15 misses. Yeah. Nice though. So running forward and apparating your echo behind, no one sees and neither does he, as it all of a sudden you watch one eye look over the shoulder but it's too late as your double starts just unleashing with its like ethereal chain as it starts carving into the back of the beholder. Is that everything? I think that was a lot.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
All right, sweet. Top of the round. Roz, you're up.
Roz will sprint forward towards the purple one.
Yeah, you will.
To like the left side of it, or
What's the movement?
my left, 50 feet.
You can get there.
Okay.
This is all rough terrain through here.
Okay. I will.
You could step of the wind if you want to keep moving.
Yeah, I'll key point step of the wind and like, if possible, align myself to the leftmost side of it. I don't know if that wall's in the way.
You can get here. Yeah.
Yeah. And bonus action. I'll use my could I have, since I have more feet now, come back at least 5 more feet so I can throw my dagger without disadvantage?
Do you want to be like?
He walked up next to him. He's like, "Nope."
Yeah. Go ahead. You can throw your dagger from there.
Okay. So I want to throw it at the thing, but if it like goes through it, like also line it up towards the crystal in the back.
Okay.
And I'm just going to use stupid dagger. It's gonna do something this time.
It's a beautiful dagger.
Yeah, it's beautifully just like.
Gee, I'm gonna stop just gifting you guys things.
This is why I rolled a 17, or no, I rolled a 14.
14?
Yeah, 14.
Okay, so that does miss the beholder, but you throw it and it just separates its eye stalks and it goes straight through the middle. And it strikes the giant crystal in the back. And it strikes and apparates back in your hand again. But for a moment, the glowing kind of flickers, and I would say Lost probably notices off to the side, and Kaya probably as well. The blue apparition flickers. Aberration, sorry, not apparition.
I can imagine like when he throws it and the eye split, he's like, this fucking dagger. And then it like actually does something.
As the purple one, like a couple of the other eyes like look over frantically towards the twin as he says, "No, brother."
Cool. Just holding the dagger out in my turn.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm not close to it. If I'm in the way of anybody, like Kaya or something, I'll move like to the left by that rock.
Like here?
But also at least 10 feet. Yeah, like that.
Okay, yeah. You're not in melee.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. And Adeline, as you come back as the green threads, you look down the green threads, the gold threads are knitting themselves back together as your wound starts to close.
I feel like she straightens her glasses and kind of staggers to her feet a little bit, leaning on that rock in front of her. But while she was laying down face up, would she have seen the crystal get hit potentially?
Oh, you wouldn't have seen shit from there. You're like
was
looking up
being
at the
lost.
ceiling. All right, what you would have noticed is part of the light that's been rhythmically glowing, part of it flickered for a second. That's what I'll give you because it's filling the cave. So,
Is she smart enough to draw some conclusions?
well, you have no idea what happened. So
You're right. You're right. All right. So, yeah, she's gonna stand up and peek around the rock she's behind. I'm within 120 feet of the purple guy, surely. Okay. Then she's gonna lean out and cast Dissonant Whispers.
Yeah.
It's going.
What's your movement?
I just want to like step out from behind that rock, but I'm about to get right back behind it.
Yeah. Okay. He's big enough. You'll be able to see where he is because that's all you need for this. So, all right. Wisdom save.
Yeah, 14.
Natural 19.
Fuck! Why are these always okay? Fine.
Should have baned him.
Half damage, though.
Should have been
Half damage. You're
half
right.
damage.
You're right. It's every time we cast this die. I don't know why I thought it'd be different. Ooh, okay though. 15 points of damage. Have to. What is that? Do you do?
7.
Cool.
It's 8.
7.
15 halved. Set. Would it? I don't. Would you do you skew up or down?
Round down.
Okay. So yeah, 7.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go back behind my rock and, breathe real heavy for a little bit and give a nod of gratitude to Rose.
You can get there.
Okay.
You used half your movement to get up.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
That's why I was asking.
Yep.
Cool. All right. At that time, Kaya, these tendrils whip out of the rock that you're standing behind and attempt to grab you. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
What?
Natural 20 for
Whoa.
23.
All right, yeah, that definitely saves. So you see it coming out the corner of your eyes, and you just grab onto both of these tendrils and push them away as they just pull back into the stone.
Dude, my die is on
And-
fire.
Okay. So we're gonna float around here, and 2 of its eye beams are gonna light up. I need Lost to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom. Oh, man. Is that one of my better ones? Oh, man. 13.
13 fails.
Hey.
As the beam hits you, you are racked with this feeling of just pure terror at what these are. You've never seen them before. You are considered frightened. The next minute, you can make saves at the end of your turn.
Okay. Frightened.
I will find this in a second. And Kaya, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Just use the inebriated one.
So I rolled a 14. Plus 4 is 18.
18 saves.
Oh my god.
So you take half damage as the
Okay.
black necrotic ray shoots you with, oh shit. Just as well you saved, that's 23. Halved.
Could have killed me. But I haven't been hit at all.
Okay. Yeah.
Same.
11.
All right.
Right, there it is. And yeah, that's its turn. Kaya, you're up.
So I want to try something. I want to that boulder in front of me. I'd like to run up it and leap across to that flat rock area, and then jump over and attack that crystal with my Morning Star.
Okay, this is like a sheer rock.
I mean, I'm a monk.
Yeah, it doesn't default. All right,
I want to try it.
Just don't fall on me, dear.
Give me an athletics check, because this is
Athletics.
This is scrambling up a wall.
That's not my good one. Rolled a natural 19 plus 1.
Okay, so you managed to scramble up to the top. Now I need you to make either an athletics or an acrobatics.
Well, definitely an acrobatics since it's plus 7. 22.
Okay. So you leap across and you can make it there with 30. So you're going to jump and attack it?
Yeah, I'm just going to do a flying Morning Star bash.
Okay. Just roll an attack because you're just jumping straight at it.
Okay.
We will call this a shooting star attack.
It's an 11 plus 7, 18.
18. Yeah, that definitely hits. So as you smash in, I need you to make another acrobatics check. As you fall.
12 plus 7 is 19.
19. Yeah, okay. So you land and take 1 point of like falling damage, but you catch yourself at the bottom as you strike into it with your Morning Star, and it flickers a little bit, and you look down towards the blue one, and it itself flickers as well, as the purple one just kind of reels back in pain.
I'm going to bonus action unarmed strike against it.
Okay.
Oh, that's only it's only 15. 8 plus 7 is 15.
That hits. It's giant and it's not moving.
Okay. Well, I rolled an 8, so it made me like worry there for a second. But I have a plus 7, so and do I need to roll damage or?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So
did you give me a damage for the?
no, I need to roll that. Let me go back and pull that up. That would be 8 plus 5 for that. So that's 18 points total for those two.
18.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm going to do a key point, flurry of blows.
Okay.
And that's a 22 to hit.
22 will hit.
And then 6 points.
6 points. Nice. So yeah, as you start just unloading on this crystal, it starts to flicker with every impact as the purple beholder starts to just reel and seemingly taking like internal yeah, Kaya, you would recognize this as psychic damage given that your breath weapon and things. And the blue beholder starts to flicker in and out more and more.
All right, that's my turn.
Rose, you're up.
After seeing that, I'm going to step out to where I can see the other blue crystal, and I'm going to guiding bolt it at the second level. And that's a 20 to hit.
That hits.
And that's 5d6.
Ooh.
Woo!
So that's going to be 20 damage.
Oh!
And I don't have any bonus actions that don't expend a spell slot, so I'm gonna leave that right now. I'm going to make my way back towards Adeline. Can I get all the way to her?
You move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Okay. My intention is to give her a healing potion. And I don't know if that's an action or not.
You can hold it out.
Okay. Bonus action. I'm holding out a potion.
Okay.
Cool.
And that's my turn. Oh, and anybody else behind me who hits that crystal has advantage on their attack.
Yeah, it is now. It's now glowing even when the pulsing goes down.
It's
But
like,
it's got this gold aura around it.
yes.
Almost like it's like glitter kind of cascading down from the top that never ends. All right.
What happened when I did that?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So it flickers the crystal, and Kaya and Lost would see that this beholder flickers in and out and just disappears as it
Cool.
disappears as the glows are getting dimmer. The other beholder starts looking more and more panicked. I guess you aren't frightened anymore.
Look at all that.
Look at that thematic. He looks up towards the crystals and starts to this one float up and towards the between the two pinnacles of the crystals. So Lost, you get an attack of opportunity.
Okay. It's at disadvantage, right? Because I'm frightened.
No, you're not frightened. You were frightened of the other one, which is
Oh.
dissipated.
Oh, awesome. God, 16.
16 just misses.
I know.
But he can only get there with his movement. But two of his eyes are gonna look over its back. And Lost, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
And from there, it can see Rose. So Rose, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
18.
Oh, no.
18 just succeeds.
Oh, I've been failing every saving throw.
You have inspiration.
When I rolled a 6. So that actually makes it a 22.
Yeah, that succeeds. You take half damage as you he's floating up high, so you see it coming, this black energy beam. As you start to move out of the way, some of it glances off the shield, but some of it burns into your arm, and you take 18, 19, 20, 21 halved to 10.
Of what kind of damage?
Necrotic.
I am resistant.
So you take 5.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
And Lost, you feel that tugging at your muscle fibers as they start to tighten up and seize, but you're able to just will it away now that other beholder has disappeared, and it reinvigorates you with with hope of the victory on the way.
Nice.
And that leaves Lily with Lost on deck.
I want to get in a position where I can see the crystal rose attacked.
There you go.
And I would like to cast at second level Earth Tremor right below it.
Okay.
Wait, I can't do that because I have to be within. Oh, you know what? How far away is it from me? Can I get within 10 feet of it?
No.
No.
Well,
okay.
Wait. You can get 15 feet away.
That doesn't help me. I asked if I could get within 10 feet.
Well, I didn't know if
Okay,
it
I
helped
can't
other
do it then,
spells.
'cause
All right.
What?
I didn't know if it helped other spells. That was all.
No, No,
Wow.
it doesn't.
I'll just say you have no idea. Cool. What would you like to do?
Is it me?
Nothing.
Oh.
Okay. You just gonna hold there?
Just gonna hold there.
All right. Lost. You are up.
How high is the mini beholder?
He is 20 feet up.
20 feet up? Okay. Yeah, so the echo can actually move in any direction, including up.
Oh, it can fly?
It can move in any direction. I actually kind of went online to see, does that mean up?
Okay. You're up there.
You know what? I don't think it can fly. It should say fly. So the only thing I could do is actually resummon it 15 feet in the air, but then it just stays there, actually. So I have to spend a bonus action to get it 15 feet up in the air. Yeah, but it can't move.
Right.
And then I will take my attack action. Yep.
Okay.
18.
18 hits.
9 damage.
Oh.
And
As you cast your duplicate out, and it starts unleashing the chain as the pointed edge just rips into its back. It tears out its giant gash in its flesh as it starts to pulsate and just drip with this ichor out of it. Go on, keep going if you're doing.
And I'm gonna spend my other unleash incarnation.
Okay, for another attack.
Or yeah, one more attack. All right, come on, roll high, roll high. Is the single eye crying because it lost its friend?
Right now, it is looking panicked and
24.
24 hits.
If I rolled a 1, so 6 damage. That's it.
So as self-preservation starts kicking in, as it floats up and away, you dismiss your echo and throw it up as it casts out the chain and just lashes in and opens up its back. The next one, as it comes out, how do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Oh. This one, the second one, lashes out and chops all its stalks off, and it just bleeds to death while it cries for its missing friend.
Raining blood.
Draining blood, like
What
Carrie.
a Slayer moment. So as as the gash opens up on its back and it slows down momentarily, kind of retching backwards as its gaping mouth opens up. Like Kaya, you'd be able to see this giant jaw with all of this just gross, thick liquid dripping out of its mouth. As the tongue curls up, the echo swings out the chain as it just cuts through each of the eyes as they fall off, as it starts spewing out blood from all of the stalks as they start flapping around and spraying blood everywhere, as it starts to fade and just crashes down onto the ground. Mere feet from its intended target.
I would like to move up to the dead creature.
I'm gonna
Okay.
grab that potion from you.
Yeah. That's yours.
I was going to use the map, and then I was like, no, it's fine. We can imagine this.
We can. I just want to cautiously look at the eyes that were cut off. Like, are they still emitting any kind of like magic?
They are kind of in death throes right now, so they're like
Right, but like, are they still like do they still have the ability to create a anti-magic cone? Do they still have the ability to, pulse out necrotic damage? Like, are they still, while it's dead, are the eyes still doing things like that? Like, I just want to.
Okay, yeah. So they're not glowing in the way that you saw before they were weaponized.
Okay. Then
the pupils are kind of like rolling back and things, and nothing is like coherent.
Okay, just want to make sure that there wasn't some kind of magic still happening. I will go to the actual creature who is like the body part, and I will start decompose on the body.
Okay.
I will pick up one of the eye tentacles and put it in my bag.
Okay.
Exactly.
So as it's, you just kind of force it into the satchel.
I might hold it until it decides to stop flailing and then put it into the bag.
Okay.
And then the other eye tentacles I will decompose as well, but I will keep one.
Just walking past and touching each of the tentacles in the main body. The main body actually starts to decompose very quickly as it starts just collapsing in on itself, almost like a ball with no air. It's just like starts breaking down into the center and collapses in on itself as it starts just shriveling into this like thick black tar-like substance.
Okay. And then
Also, thank you for the raid, Devil's Love Gaming. Thank you so much.
And that's all I'm gonna do right now.
Are the crystals still glowing?
Very faintly.
Do we think those are going to be a problem again?
I'm not sure, but does it seem like they were placed here? Like what are these beholders doing here?
You've never seen these before.
Just kidding. What are these creatures doing here?
God, they're ghastly, aren't they? Would I have read about them ever? Or come across any in my studies?
You can make a history check if you want.
I would like to. That's it. Ooh, that's 23.
23? Okay, so whereas you may not know the name of them, these do kind of ring true as some of the sort of mythical extraplanar beings. It's kind of giving you that sense, and then you realize where you've seen it as you get a sinking feeling in your stomach. And you look down to the tome in your right hand.
They're certainly not from here. We should go. There's no trace of any others, right? And she's gonna look up at the two crystals that are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Just step back and use a sorcery point to twin Chaos Bolt to shoot both of them at the same time and just try to destroy them like once and for all.
All right. Yeah. They were pretty low as it was. So yeah, as you summon your innate magic and put the tome down, releasing chaos bolts out of both hands as it arcs across to the large crystals, and they shatter into almost dust as it starts raining down with this teal dust across the cavern, and an eerie silence falls over the room.
I can't see.
I would like to go. I would like to go pick up some of the remnants of that.
Yeah, and shove some dust in my empty potion bottle.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Okay. I will say you won't be able to gather like a whole like flat, like conical flask or anything of them, but you're able to kind of throw some of the dragon shard dust into a couple of the bottles.
So Adeline, I noticed you recognize these creatures. What are they called?
I don't know. I read about them in some obscure class. That's all. I never knew their name though. They're not from this plane, however. So that's all I know.
Do I feel like that's all she knows?
Roll an inside check.
21.
21. Yeah, she seems pretty forthright and pretty honest.
That's unfortunate. I need to add it to my achievements log.
Maybe just call it something like tentacle eyeball. You know what? I thought I had something better for this. I really don't. We'll workshop it, maybe.
All right.
We'll come up with something really gross. That was disgusting. I'm covered in guts. I hate this.
Yours or the eye monster's guts?
A bit of both. Rose, I haven't had the chance to formally thank you for literally saving my life.
Well, it wasn't your time to die. Fate did not allow it.
That's good. I'm very glad. Let's get back to that asshole Rask and shove it in his face that we.
Yes, and I'll pull the eyeball tentacle out, and yes, I have something to show him.
Great.
I'm going to lean against the rock for a second and try to recover some of my hit points with second wind. I'm just going to like.
Oh, yeah, same thing here. Second wind.
Okay.
I have more potions of healing. And
Well, I don't want to waste one. I'll be all right.
of the two of you, which one of you looks the worst?
I'm like, on a scale of 1 to 35, I'm like at 21.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
specific.
I'm exactly. Well, I have more hit points than him, so go ahead.
Okay. All right. Actually, you guys are way better than I thought you were, so I'm gonna let you do your little short rest and hold on to my last spell slot just in case.
They don't need a short rest. They can
or whatever
just,
you're doing, your long wind thing.
Yeah, you see them both kind of just take in some deep breaths and kind of shake off their head and feel okay again.
Okay.
All right.
So with that, the room is quiet. In your heads, it's quiet. No more laughing. No more whispers coming from different directions inside your brain.
Well,
No more glow. There is a still calm. And that is where we're going to end tonight.
Dang it.
Do it.
And upon your next long rest, you guys will be level 4.
Yeah.
oh
Level 4.
my gosh.
I get my
So-
cookies back.
We're never gonna long rest though, guys. Just don't-
Prepare what you want to do when you turn level 4 so that
Okay.
it's nice and quick. And do you want to? Yeah, let's roll hit points, and then you can just
Alright.
write it. You can just write it down, and then add it next time you get the short rest, the long rest rather. Live roll some hit points.
Wait. Oh shoot.
I don't know what my dice is.
I don't know either.
I have to go look at it.
A D8.
Hit points.
Guys at Devil's Luck Gaming, thank you again. The people, everyone who came along and everyone who stuck around.
I rolled an 8 on a D8.
Woo! There you go.
I only got a 5.
I
Yeah,
got a
5.
6.
Wait,
It's
Gotta
1,
be-
so 6.
add. No.
No, just write down what you rolled.
Oh,
Because when
okay.
you add it, it'll.
Yeah, it'll add it for you.
Got it.
Those of you that are not multi-classing at stupidly low levels, you will get a feat as well.
Oh really?
Level 4
Or an ASI. Yeah.
Heck yes, guys.
or an ASI.
We're not
That's
putting it into
boring.
D&D Beyond right now? Okay. I rolled an 8. Rolled an 8.
Yeah, Devil's Luck Gaming, thank you so much for everyone that stuck around. Thank you for everyone that came along with the raid as well. We are a brand new channel. If you liked what you saw, I'm sorry that you missed the epic twinned beholder battle. It's been leading up to this point for a little bit, but if you liked what you saw, throw us a follow. We appreciate it. And maybe check back in, see what these guys do. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, especially everyone from that's hung around from the beginning. I hope you enjoyed the premiere episode of Fables of Gahlia on Swole Initiative Network. I felt like that was a pretty epic start.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll just keep getting more and more crazy because you guys have opened a lot of cans simultaneously. Yeah, thank you so much. We're gonna find someone to
Yeah, we're gonna raid Mike. He's playing D&D too.
the short
Yay.
Nord. Look
Yeah.
at that. Viking DM supporting the short Nord. Let's go. Throw up some of our emotes if you can into his chat. Let him know that he's here. That we're here rather. And yeah. We'll see you guys next time. Next
Yeah.
Friday, 6 p.m. PST.